Andrew Weissmann, I'll always remember where I was when your first assessment came down last night. Tell us what you think the significance of this is to Jack Smith's case.
Sure. So first, let me give you the good news, and then I'm going to turn to a little bit of a conundrum. The good news for people who want to see accountability is that if you're a prosecutor, you know what you want? The defendant on tape admitting the crime. It's hard to imagine something more devastating than this. And it also flies in the face of the latest defenses that that he's been putting forth, which is, oh, these are newspapers, and that I sort of made this all up. I mean, you can't listen to this and believe that's true. You wouldn't have these kinds of reactions. You can't show a newspaper to someone and say, gee, this is highly confidential. People are going to go, what are you talking about? So this is really a great piece of evidence with respect to his possession and actually dissemination of classified material. And you only have to prove actual possession. The thing that's a little unanswered is the indictment describes this incident at Bedminster in detail, but it doesn't charge it, meaning that there are 31 documents that he is charged with illegally possessing, and the document at issue here is not one of them. It doesn't mean that the tape is not admissible. I think it will be admissible, but I'm wondering why Jack Smith didn't also charge this, because you have such strong evidence of this particular crime with respect to this particular document. And there are a whole bunch of theories people have been tossing around, including myself, but that's the one, I would say, weakness. If you are the defense, that's like the little bit of a argument you might have, which is you get to tell the jury that, yes, okay, whatever, this may be very strong, but it's really, nothing related to these 31 documents. This is for something that happened in New Jersey, not in Florida.
So what are the theories? I mean, what do you think, Andrew? Is it, I mean, one of the theories I've heard is that they don't have it, that it didn't turn up in the Mar-a-Lago search, and for whatever reason, they didn't search Bedminster.
Yeah, I have heard that too. The thing that makes me think that may not be right is that if you look at the language in the indictment, it actually, the preamble to this particular description says that the defendant, Donald Trump, showed and disseminated classified documents, and then goes on to describe this. So that doesn't sound like the government doesn't have the document. Now, it's possible that they have sufficient evidence that he showed some classified document, but they don't know if it's the exact one. In other words, that they have something that looks a whole lot like what's being described, but it may not be the very same one. And so they're worried about having proof beyond a reasonable doubt. Another theory is that because this is material that relates to something that happened in New Jersey, that they're sort of holding this in abeyance to see what happens in the Florida case, to see, essentially how bad Judge Cannon is, whether she makes crazy rulings, whether she puts the trial off, and that there's always the possibility of then charging this in New Jersey. But I think that's sort of an unanswered question, is why this isn't playing a little bit more of a central role in the case. And don't get me wrong, this tape is still really strong, but it does leave a little room for the defense to make the argument that, yes, this tape may be strong, but don't relate it to these 31 documents that are actually charged. And if you have a juror who's sympathetic to the defense, you never know. And, as Claire knows, if you're a prosecutor, you're always worried about that standard of proof beyond a reasonable doubt, and you want to close off any wiggle room.
Andrew, how many people have this tape? What is the universe of possibilities for how it made itself onto CNN's air last night?
Sure. Well, this happened when I was in the Mueller investigation, and people would say, "Oh, gee, the government must have leaked this." So, of course, the government does have it, but also the defense now has it. It's been turned over as part of discovery. But even more than that, it doesn't have to have come from the government or the defense camp, which would be obviously improper if it came from either of those. But think about the people who were at the meeting. So if you are one of the two staffers who are reported to have been there, and there may be in fact more than two, they're reported to, at least one of them, have taped this meeting. The ghostwriters for Mark Meadows, who are at the meeting, they also are reported to have, at least one of them, to have taped the meeting. So I would suspect, if I had to sort of guess, I would say it's coming from those sources who were at the meeting who did the tape. And by the way, there's nothing improper or illegal about that, about making the tape recording and then giving it to the media outlet. And of course, there's nothing wrong with a media outlet accepting it.